Okay, my favorite Saunders.
Gregory.
Eagle looking great. Your go.
And we're rolling, Gregory.
Greg Saunders.
Wow. Hey, great.
Show us the skills that have made you a media darling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, 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 welcome to the Stateline Show.
I'm very proud to say that every civilization, independently of itself, found out that putting meat inside of a little dough packet is absolutely delicious. I'm Greg. He's Tom. It's your Saturday morning Stateline show for the 15th day of April, the year 2023, the latest it has ever been
in the history of mankind. Can you hear me?
I can, and we're back to 10 out of 10. Yay, Tom.
Oh, wow. Woo. Wow.
Thank you, Lord. Sometimes even technology.
For the record,
yes.
I hate technology. And I'm not a technophobe by any means.
No, you're not.
There's a lot of good things about technology, but I hate technology, and I hate the fact that it goes so fast. You know, I buy a computer and 6 months later it's out of date. I buy a phone and 3 days later it's out of date. It's wow.
Well, Elon Musk is going to solve all that for us pretty soon, Tom. We're going to have the X app that does absolutely everything. So just we're 5-6 months away.
But Elon Musk was the one I saw him. I've seen him all over media, whatever, over the last couple of days saying AI has gone too far. It's too dangerous.
It's
too
a
much.
weird, yeah. We're definitely in a weird place in the world.
We are.
That's for sure.
By the way, it
yeah.
is day 77 of Aaron Rodgers' watch.
Finally...
I don't know. I don't know how many days it's been. That's just my. But anyway,
something like that. I'm still convinced, and I think I texted you this. I'm still convinced that the deal is already done. I believe, and I questioned it a little bit this week because the Jets owner was talking to the media and said some things, but I think he might be a good actor. I think the deal's already done. I think draft day, the announcement when the Packers are on the clock, if the tight end that they want is there, they take that tight end. If the tight end's not there, they make they have the plan B, but they're going to announce the trade at draft day, either when the Jets are on the clock or when the Packers are on the clock. I think it's a tight end. There's 2 tight ends that I think they're targeting. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So
there's about 20 minutes between the two. So you got pick 13 for the Jets, pick 15 for
pick
the Packers.
15. Yeah.
And I believe it's 10 minutes on the clock. Is that correct?
Something like that.
Or it's not a half an hour. It's about 10 minutes on the clock. But anyway, so there would be enough time to make a couple of phone calls, and everybody involved is going to be phone in hand. This is draft day. You don't have the phone like laying on the top of the couch or something like that. So I agree. I think that's a really good assessment of it.
I think that's
I agree, because Joe Douglas was the one you were talking about. He's the GM. The owner's Woody Johnson. I don't know. Maybe Woody Johnson did say something, but Joe Douglas came out and said, "Oh yeah, Aaron will be a Jet."
Yeah.
So then I heard on Colin Cowherd, he said he should not have said that because that is essentially tipping his hand. But
there's no hand to tip.
I
think the deal is done.
There's no hand to tip. You're right. This is why I'm agreeing with you, because Brian Gutekunst said a couple of the Packers GM. He said this a couple of weeks ago. He said, "Look, you know what? We're prepared for the trade. We're all good. We're good to go. Yeah. If Aaron wants to come back, whatever, maybe fine. That's fine. But we're prepared to move forward now." Meaning Jordan Love enter. So I just wish it would get done.
Today's the 15th.
Done with it.
The draft is in 10 days, right? 25th.
It's 24th, 25th, something like that. So yeah, it usually will go. Today's Saturday. It usually, I think, goes Thursday
and then
Friday. And then do they have a third day of the draft? So I think the draft starts the 23rd or the 24th.
All right, let's do this before we get too deep. It's big number. We do have a big number of the week, and at current scorekeeping here, Tom's back ahead by a score of 2-1. That's right. After losing 2 races to 10 in a row, Tom's on the way to getting back on the winning track.
You're kind of being kind when you say losing. Dude, I got
You
obliterated.
got obliterated for the last race to 10. The previous race to 10 was epic proportions.
I was up 8-3 and I lost 10-9.
You know, this is one of the reasons why all of our new listeners need to go back to like October and watch every show from like beginning of October through the end of 2022 and see how Tom completely blew his huge lead against Joann. This week's big number of the week this week is 15 million, and the answer is Mumbai or Michael. How about all those M's? We got the 3M big number of the week this week, unofficially.
All right, I just sent you mine.
Sponsored by 3M. 15 million, Mumbai or Michael. What's the answer? Give us your guess in the chat, in the comments section. If you're watching us on YouTube, on LinkedIn, or on our Saturday Morning Stateline Show Facebook page, your comment will show up on my screen during the show. If you comment elsewhere, if this has been shared to, let's say, the Ridgeline Facebook page or the Music Academy and Rockford Facebook page or my personal Facebook page, if you comment there, we won't see it during the show. We'll only see it on that particular page. But three places that you can comment where we see it during the show: LinkedIn, our YouTube channel, Saturday Morning Stateline Show YouTube channel, or the Saturday Morning Stateline Show Facebook page, live during the show. We will see it. All right. We do have some guests to get to before we get to our guest. Our weekly shout outs this week include, I want to give a shout out to City First Church for putting on another awesome Easter celebration last weekend. We talked a little bit about the fact that they did their helicopter egg drop again. Huge turnouts, lots of happy kids. They even had something set up for kids and parents that were a little bit leery of going out there on the football field after the helicopter dropped all those eggs. They had a little baggy packets for them to say, here you go. Here's some eggs. You don't have to run out on the field. So they did a wonderful, wonderful job of just doing something awesome and free for the community and families for Easter. Kudos to City First Church and Christian Life Schools over there. Our team at Sold on Tony, Keller Williams Realty Signature, tallied up all of our first quarter numbers for 2023. We ended the first quarter, January, February, March. Here we are in April. We took a look at the first 3 months. And at the end of last year, we made a promise to donate. In fact, we announced it, I believe, during our Super Bowl commercial. If you saw the Super Bowl, who played in the Super Bowl? Who cares? We had a Sold on Tony commercial during the Super Bowl. And during that commercial,
Kansas City and Philadelphia, by the way.
That's right. Kansas City beat Philadelphia. We announced that we were supporting Rock House Kids this year in a fairly unique way. We were going to donate $25 to Rock House Kids for every transaction that we closed this year, and $15 for every Google review that one of our past clients did for us on our Google page. So I got the wonderful honor of being able to deliver the check, the first quarter check, to Rock House Kids this week. And you know what? I should have had this prepared.
Can I guess how much it was?
That would have made a really good big number of the week, because I can almost guarantee you. I mean, I wouldn't want you to overshoot, because that would be embarrassing, but it was a big number. And I'm looking to see if I can bring it up, the actual video, and actually play it on the screen. Okay, there it is. Let me see if I can bring it up. Boom, 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 boom.
I gave you my answer there, Greg.
All right.
And you don't have to use it. You don't have to say anything. I'm just showing you my answer.
$1,305 was our donation for just the first quarter of 2023. So
yeah,
again, thanks to everybody who done business with us already this year and did those Google reviews. A big chunk of that was we did a really big push to get more Google reviews at the end of last year, which spilled over into 2023. So that was very, very wonderful. We love the Ministry of Rock House Kids, and we actually had them present yesterday at our Rockford Linked Lunch, which is the second Friday of the month presentation networking meeting that we do every second Friday of the month with a bunch of Rockford area LinkedIn members. And it was really cool yesterday because I had invited May's speaker to come sit in on the April lunch because he'd never been there before. And I wanted to give him a taste of what the group is and does and how it acts. And right at noon, just as we're actually beginning the formal part of the meeting, in walks Don Manzullo. Hey, Don, right, good timing. You're here. And here's his book, by the way, Do Nice Guys Run for Congress? Just finished reading that book this week. Very good book. He's going to be talking about that and his time in Congress at next month's Rockford Linked Lunch. Machine Shed, 11:30 to 1. If you are available, come on out. We should have a really nice meeting on May 12th.
Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a good idea to have reservations? I think he's going to draw a crowd.
Well, I told Guy's the GM owner of the Machine Shed here in Rockford. I told Guy, I said, now, you know how our meetings normally are, some 15 to 25 people is pretty normal. I got a feeling we're gonna have a lot bigger crowd for that one in May. I'm not sure how many. He goes, that's okay, Greg. We'll be prepared. My only concern right now is here's the way things normally go. 11:30 to noon, we're all finding seats around a few tables, which are all pushed together, and we're getting our drink orders in. And then right before noon, our waitress comes by and takes our lunch orders. You get your own lunch. You buy your own lunch if you want to get lunch. You don't have to, but you can. And then we go into the formal part of the meeting at noon. Everyone gets a chance to introduce themselves, and the presenter presents. If we have over like 30 or 40 people, that could be, we might need more than one waitress, I guess is what I'm saying. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, we may want to consider making this a free ticketed event. We obviously won't charge anything, but maybe we'll make it a ticketed thing. We'll figure that out this week. But
that's a good idea. It's a good idea. I mean, he's a former U.S. congressman, 10 years from the area, very popular.
20 years, actually. Yeah, 20 years in Congress.
20 years. 20?
Yeah.
Well, he had 10
terms. 10. He won 10 terms. So,
okay.
So that's coming up in May. And then one last shout out for this week is to the Pregnancy Care Center. They celebrated their 40th anniversary this week with a big banquet at the Embassy Suites in Rockford downtown. They had such a huge turnout for that they had to have a second room with another, 80, 90 of us were in the second room because we didn't get in the first room. There was a huge crowd turnout to celebrate 40 years of caring for women with unexpected pregnancies. And it's a really wonderful ministry that they have there and the support that they have. Actually, Don was there too. Don Manzullo was one of the founding families, one of the three founding families that actually got the place started in 1983. So very, very cool job that Amanda Geisel put on there, the marketing director for Pregnancy Care Center. And then also Tracy, this is now public now because she announced it there. Tracy Bright announced that she will be stepping down as the executive director. So they're on the search right now on the hunt for the next executive director of the Pregnancy Care Center. I know Tracy's had some family things. I think her husband was ill recently, and that kind of made her go, you know what? My family needs me more than the Pregnancy Care Center right now. And that comes God, family than everything else. Right. So time to let everything else go and support her family. So
one other question before we get to our guest, it'll take 30 seconds. I have a simple question for you. I know you're a Bucks fan, but I know you're not a huge NBA fan. Is that a correct statement?
I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Do you like the way the NBA has done the playoff structure or
the
not?
play-in games were fun?
Oh God,
I
no.
think they were kind of
hate
fun.
it. Well, here's why I
It's
hate
different.
it. 7, 8, 9, and 10 have to play.
Yeah.
Those two become 7 and 8. So 9 and 10 could. How many teams you have in the NBA? You've got 30 teams in the NBA.
Is that right?
20 of them are, yeah, because you got 15.
Teams with losing
20 of them
records should not be in the playoffs. How about what we just
Well, that should also be right, the same in baseball and
In
in
football.
football as well. You've got 30 teams, 20 of them make the playoffs
Yeah.
essentially, because 9 and 10 and quite frankly 9 or 10 can move in and become that team. The Bulls did.
right?
The Bulls did. They were the 10th team or the 9th team.
They
One of the
beat
two.
Team 9,
They beat Toronto.
and they almost
and then-
beat Miami yesterday.
Well, but they were up 1-0 on Miami.
It's a play-in. It's
Right.
a play-in game. It's one game, so they were down to the wire, and they lost to Miami. So Miami plays Milwaukee starting tomorrow.
That's what it is. Okay, that's
One
what
and
it
done.
was. Now I have clarification because it said the Bulls 1-1. I thought that meant they played Miami twice. I'm like, where was I? Now it makes sense. I'm glad I asked. Okay, I looked and looked and looked, and it said Milwaukee to be determined, and that's why.
Right.
That's what that was. So the 1-1 meant they beat Toronto to eliminate Toronto, but then they got eliminated by Miami.
You got
Okay,
it.
I don't like the structure. Let's just take the top 8 teams from each conference and be done with it. 8 plays 1, 7 plays 2. I mean, come on. how
I'm
much more money
okay
do
with
they
it because it's almost like a bye week for the number 1 seed because they're still going to play the worst team in the playoffs for the first round. I'm okay with it.
No, I agree with that, but what if Miami gets hot, gets lightning in a bottle?
That's the risk. Whatever.
Whatever.
It
That's
happens
the
anyway.
luck of the draw. It does. But here's the biggest
Yeah.
problem I have
All right.
with it. It makes the regular season completely unnecessary.
I don't think so.
If you could be the 10th team with a 44 and 40 record, 44 and 40, 38 record or whatever, kind of makes it unnecessary.
I think the Lakers are on the path to possibly doing that, but we'll see. We'll see how the weekend plays out the next week. So,
all right, on to our guest.
We got to bring our guests in. We're going to start with bringing in Steve, who still has yet to figure out the mirror concept of the background. That's okay. You just read backwards. I'm picking on you. How you doing, Steve?
Hey, good morning. Well, the joys of technology, as Tom was saying. I thought I had a switch, but we'll get that figured out.
I don't think. Let me see if
Is that coming through now?
I can only. There you go. You figured it out now. You figured it out now. If we back you up like this, look at that. Now we can see right there.
There you go.
And for you, I didn't get a logo, but I got this right there. Look at that guy.
Nice.
Is that a guy that looks like you could trust him with your money? I think so.
One of my mentors said, a little gray goes a long way. You've experienced a couple ups and downs and know your way around different things for planning. So,
well, you are the one who helped us connect with our today's special non-for-profit guest. So why don't you introduce her as I bring her on the screen? Good morning to you, Laura.
Awesome. Yes. So Laura is the executive director for the Rockford Music Academy. The Rockford Music Academy has been in Rockford. I think we're coming up on 40 years soon. And we just transitioned. We had Marty Franz as executive director, and she retired about 1.5 years ago. And now Laura is taking over doing a dynamite job. And I think the big thing is it's one of those diamonds that is just undiscovered by a lot of people in Rockford. My wife teaches here, and then my kids go here, and I'm the chairman of the foundation board. So I want to see this place do well. There's a lot of cool things happening, and just excited that Laura's able to kind of share a little bit, and hopefully get some more traction and get some people aware of what the Music Academy is doing in Rockford.
Nice. Well, thanks for spending some time with us this morning, Laura. I'm curious to hear a little bit about you and your background. So tell us about yourself. Where'd you come from and how'd you get here?
Sure. So you can hear me okay, right? Sorry,
Yes.
just need to check.
Yes.
So I am the Music Academy Executive Director. Only 1 year, not 1.5 years yet,
Okay.
Steve, but I'm learning a lot. I was a student at the Music Academy. I learned violin. I started when I was 5, and I did their whole gigantic program, which includes private lessons, and then you come on Saturdays for group lessons and orchestra and music theory classes. I did all of that all the way through high school. And many of my teachers that I took from are still here. So it's been really cool and really interesting. And they're super supportive and amazing and always have been. I went to get my bachelor's of music performance degree at NIU in DeKalb. And I figured out that I really liked teaching there. I thought I was going to be a performer. And what I really loved was teaching and helping students get better. And also the whole philosophy of the school and my personal teaching philosophy is that you can learn so much more through music than just your musical skills. Like that's an amazing offshoot of like learning an instrument at a high level, but you get so much more out of that than just becoming a musician. So that's really what I was drawn to. So I decided I should go on and get a lot more degrees. So I got my master's degree also from NIU in pedagogy, which is just a fancy word for saying learning how to teach. And then I left Illinois for the first time and I moved to Boulder, Colorado, which was beautiful and amazing. And I did my doctorate there in, again, music pedagogy. While I was there, I worked for an organization called El Sistema. And that's a global organization. There are sites all over the world, hundreds and hundreds, but it was founded in Venezuela. The whole philosophy of this is that lessons are always free for everyone, and a really robust music education is free for everyone, and that it also, same philosophy as mine, it kind of teaches people to work together, teaches people discipline, hard work, to be creative, to problem solve, all of that stuff too. But the philosophy of El Sistema is that you can learn everything about living in a society through playing in an orchestra, because you're working with others and you're having to negotiate and you're having to, make compromises and things like that. So, and the fact that it's free for everyone has really changed a lot of lives. So, that has been kind of my focus. And now that I'm here at the Music Academy, the goal is to make the school, one, more well-known, because as Steve said, it's kind of a diamond in the rough in Rockford. We've been here almost 40 years. We're coming up on our 39th year. And most people don't know about us. I went to West Middle School last year and I just talked to a briefly and I said, we have lessons available, and they were like, what's the Music Academy? And then like half the class came over and signed up for lessons. So we just need people to know about us, because what we offer is really, really comprehensive and really effective. So my goal is to make it more accessible to more people, and through scholarship and through financial aid and through obviously visibility in the community.
Nice. You pretty much answered every question I was going to possibly ask you. You are a wonderful spokesperson for your organization. That was awesome, because I played trumpet in school and became the drum major of my high school marching band and did all that stuff. And I never even considered music to be a possible career other than maybe directing, the band in middle school or high school or something as a future possible thing. And then one of my classmates went on to become like one of the piccolo players in the New York Symphony Harmonic, whatever. I mean, she's really, really good. And we knew she was good when in high school, but who knew she was going to be a paid professional musician her entire career. And I watched Stephanie from afar and go, that's awesome. That is so cool. And what you said about, students learning, negotiating and cooperating and all this stuff, it seems to me that a very large majority of successful people in the business world, in entrepreneurial circles and stuff, had music backgrounds. They played music, at least in high school, if not some other way. They're the mom or dad that just, you know what, you're going to take those piano lessons whether you like it or not. And they took them for 3 years and they played. Maybe they didn't like it, but they played and they learned things. The math that's involved in music is often misunderstood and stuff like that. I'm curious what you just said about all these students that came over from the middle school, because a lot of parents probably say, well, why would I send my kids to a music academy? They've got band at school. What do you say to I guess a parents or who's like I don't see why my kids should have to go to more music lessons. I shouldn't have to is the wrong word, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
What would you do is to encourage someone to say, you know what, there's a reason to go further than what's being offered in school.
Yeah, so what's being offered in school is really wonderful. The RPS schools and all the music teachers around here are doing such a phenomenal job. But that's only just like a tiny little sliver of what they can do. So what we do is mostly private lessons with a really qualified teacher. So all of our teachers, all of our string teachers play in the Rockford Symphony Orchestra. All of our piano teachers perform regularly. We've got really qualified teachers performance-wise, but also they have additional training as well. And when you come for private lessons, it's much more personal. You know, you can work at your own pace. You can work on what your needs are actually, and our teachers can identify those needs. And that's when you really get all of those extra benefits, is when you're so deep in it and you're intensely kind of working out something. So orchestra at school and band at school, that's all wonderful and fun. And that really like sparks joy for a lot of students. And that's really important too, obviously. But if you can go deeper with the education, that's where you really learn how to problem solve and be creative and work with others. The other reason is that we have such a kind of extracurricular things that we do. So like I mentioned, we are just about to start our Saturday group lessons, which happen every Saturday that I took part in. And kids come and they play in small group lessons with their own instruments. So all the violins are together of one level and all the cellos are together and all the pianos. And they just like play pieces that they know and they have fun. And they work on ensemble skills and learning how to play together and learning how to work together and be creative together. And then they go on to music theory classes, which is where, Greg, you kind of get those math skills. I think that's where musicians get so good at math, is in the music theory. That's like learning how music is composed and how to write music and make chords and, you know, kind of the inner workings of a musical piece. And then they go on to large ensemble, which is your orchestra, which they already are probably getting at school. But it's just a little bit different when you've got this extra community that's not at your school, that you're learning with people who come from all over in different places, not just your friends from school. You're making new friends. And I think something just a little bit more magical happens in that context, because there are so many people from different walks of life kind of getting together to kind of intensely make music together. Whereas in school, sometimes you have some people who don't really want to be there. Almost everyone wants to be here. You know, they might.
That's a good point.
They might not be excited about getting up early on a Saturday morning, as I never was. But once they get started, they start smiling and they see that it's worth it.
You got my wheels rolling. I got a couple of questions. First and foremost, go Huskies. Oh, I went to the UIN as well. NIU, that works. That works. Anyway, my prized bear. Football analogy for you. I played football most of my life. What football teaches you is how teamwork, this and that. Guess what? So does music. Mm-hmm. And people crap on the arts. I'm sorry. Sometimes they do. They want to eliminate the arts from everything. Yeah. Please don't ever do it. Because what music teaches you is exactly what you said. It teaches you camaraderie. It teaches you teamwork, how to mesh, how to go together. Oh my God, it's so important. But it also teaches you discipline, mm-hmm. And that is the one thing. Like Greg said, I know several people who have, I had to play piano and I didn't want to do it. My friends were out playing this and that. But guess what? Now they're in a band, or now they're this or that. But the other thing I wanted to say, and this is very important. How many times have you heard somebody say, I didn't pick up a guitar until I was in 8th grade? And now you're a freshman in college and you're in a band that's making money in a bar. Why? Because you have talent, but nobody knew it. Nobody knew it because nobody took the time to really think about it. And the beauty of something like this is that you're going to find those diamonds in the rough. You're going to find those people who actually have the talent. Maybe they just don't know it. They just have to have an outlet. And then finally, I played clarinet for about 3 weeks in 6th grade before my teacher kicked me out. He said, "Give me that clarinet. You do not know what you're doing." So no, the only
here's a symbol. Hit it when I point at you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I get the little ring, the triangle. The only thing I can play is radio and CDs, and that's it. So I'll stick with football, but I love my music, and I strongly encourage everybody to find out if you've got musical talent.
Yeah. I want to say just a couple things about that, because that's, first of all, I hear that so much from from people who say, "Oh, my music teacher did this aptitude test, and she said I didn't have any talent." Well, everybody has musical talent, so I'm really sorry that happened to you if that's a true story.
Yeah. Oh, it's a really true story.
Man.
I believe I'm still scarred to this day because he grabbed the clarinet out of my hand. He was a really old guy, and I was I had the walk of shame. It was like the Green Mile or whatever they call that. I had the walk of shame as I walked out of the room.
That's horrible. Well,
Little old 10-year-old me. Okay.
I'll also say I have to, give my music teacher kind of speech. Everybody has musical talent, truly, but not everyone has the interest, So we really think, yes, some people have a more natural affinity in the beginning, and that's cool and that's great. But everybody can learn to play, a musical instrument at a high level if that's what they want. And it's nice to have this separate idea of, even not everyone has to become, the piccolo player of the New York Philharmonic or anything like that. The fact that you do get all these extra benefits is helpful. And I will also just add, music for music's sake is also worth it too, right? Just doing an art is worth it as well.
It's an accomplishment.
Yes, absolutely.
It is. Really.
But, this idea that you just got to find that talented one. Everybody can learn. It just takes, as you said, that discipline and the right teacher and harder work. So when I was in college, my teacher really finally said, "You have to practice," practicing. And he said, some people, they don't need to practice, but you're not one of them. You got to practice. Yeah. And that was really good. So then I started practicing, 4 or 5 hours a day.
And somewhat humbling, I'll bet, huh?
Sorry?
Somewhat humbling.
Maybe?
Oh yeah, for sure. And he said that he said, you need to do it and I need to do it. There are some people who don't need to do it as much. But
right. Emily Bear probably does not need to practice.
I'm sure
she's the exception. Yeah. She's the exception, not the rule. So
I'm sure she's put her time in at some point, but yes.
I'm sure she has.
When it comes to music and sports and disciplines like that, I'm not sure the general person understands the line between great and excellent. And the line, for your sports analogy, the line between Aaron Rodgers and Brady,
Josh Allen?
No. I'm thinking of someone who's good but not great, who's not excellent. The future Hall of Famer to the guy who made the team, but the difference between basketball, the difference between Michael Jordan and Bill Weddington. Okay, what's the difference between those two guys? Michael Jordan loved practicing. Practicing as much as playing games. He loved practicing and getting things perfect. And Bill Weddington was, good. He was great even at times, but he was never excellent. He didn't love practicing. He's good on the radio, right. But the same thing happens for musicians. I want to make sure we chat with Steve just a little bit. Obviously, your family's gotten involved with the Music Academy, and you said you were part of the board right now. What is your involvement with that now, Steve?
Yeah. So kind of as Laura was mentioning, there's a lot of trying to have access across the board with a lot of different individuals. And so the foundation board actually supports, I think they reduced the fee or covers about 20 to 25% of each student. So that reduces the fee. So, and I think the other thing too, that we look at is this is an investment to say, okay, how do we get this community to build up, and what are those lifelong skills? Music is one of those lifelong skills. So when we see like the football analogy, well, you start to have old sports injuries start to come out in your 50s and 60s. Well, music, people are still playing in their 80s and 90s, and it's just that mental capacity. So that's where we found the passion from individually and then from our family, but then from the foundation board. I think it is a good group of people, and we are here to support the Music Academy's mission to have music for the Rockford community and farther out. So it's always a great place for people to donate, and we have different, I guess, areas that they can if they want to set up scholarships, or if we've got an endowment fund. And also looking for people that might be interested to say, hey, what are you doing and how are you supporting it? So always open to have people talk to us and say, hey, what's out there? So I just think it's a really good group, and a lot of good talent too from different areas on the foundation side. So
There's a donate button on the website, musicacademyinrockford.com. And there's even a link to a Mother's Day card fundraiser. Should I ask about that or just move on? I don't know.
Oh, well, that's mostly for our students. So
Okay, gotcha.
it's very cool though. They make a like kind of a virtual video and we take a nice photo and then we send it to whoever for Mother's Day, not just mothers. But yeah, as Steve was saying, the goal is to really keep prices affordable for everyone. Like our rates are so low for what we offer and low for the Northern Illinois community area, especially if you look at Chicago. And that's on purpose, but we couldn't do that without the foundation board and donations. It's expensive to run a business in Illinois. So
Right.
Donations make it so that we can really make it accessible and affordable for everyone. And we are truly committed to that. I wanted to say a couple of, as Steve mentioned, I was thinking about, we have a really robust adult education program too.
Oh, cool.
So we have a lot of people call in who say, I played clarinet for 3 weeks. Can I get started in it? And we say, yes, come here. So
Tom, try the tuba. For goodness sakes, you're a big guy.
Oh no. I have a Roland piano
All
here
right.
that I bought 10 years ago, and it's a beautiful piece.
Learn that then.
I want to learn that thing so
There you
badly.
go.
there you go.
But can you teach an old dog new
Absolutely.
tricks?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. I am dead serious about it. I took lessons. I'm not going to say where or whatever. No, nothing like that. I took lessons. It didn't work. The teacher was not. It didn't work for me.
Yeah.
She was a fine teacher, great, knew what she was doing. Didn't work for me. I'm a little bit ADD. How many other guys do you know with teddy bears? Yeah, whatever. I'm just a different individual. It's all good. But I want to learn piano, so I may be venturing this way. I may be.
Sure.
Steve,
Yeah.
one thing that you said.
Well,
You said something about football and injuries, and you're out of football. What do you have to fall back on? Well, I could be a coach or I could be an announcer. If you're a musician, you have everything to fall back on. You can have a standing gig at, look at Bunny Carlos from Cheap Trick. He's got a standing gig at Mary's Place and he's happy as a lark. You know, he's one of the best drummers in a long time with Cheap Trick, made billions and billions or whatever. And now he's having fun playing at Mary's Place. So, you know, it's something they can never take away. I'm really jazzed about this. Pun intended.
Oh, badooch.
Well, the other
Thank you. I'm here all morning.
Yeah, the other thing I want to jump in on is one of the things that music does, and there's a lot of cool studies, is it goes against or fights Alzheimer's. So dealing with people and saying, okay, what can you do outside of healthy diet and things like that? Music has just a lot of cool benefits that people just don't realize. We talked about the discipline, we talked about the community, teamwork, but Alzheimer's is becoming more and more in the media for how do you handle that? Well, starting music lessons maybe at a different age than younger, it might be a trick or it might be an option, but not to say it's going to fix it, but it helps with the mind activity, brain activity. So
Absolutely. Well, I'm guessing that when people walk up to the Music Academy in Rockford, they see this sign outside first. Is that right?
Yeah, so we are attached to First Lutheran Church in Heat Village, which is a block south of City Hall.
Okay.
And we're in a separate building. So yes, always look for that little sign.
Oak Street entrance for Music Academy.
Yes.
All right. And do you have any events or any special things coming up that you want to make sure that we plug before we let you go?
Yes, we have a lot coming up, but I'll just say a couple. So if you are just a member of the community, we are taking a bus trip to see West Side Story at Chicago's Lyric Opera. It's one of the cool things we do. We take trips and the prices are really affordable. It's $85 for an adult. You can sign up on our website. That includes the bus and the ticket to the show.
That's a good deal.
It's a really good deal.
That's a good deal.
And we just have like our solo recitals coming up and our Twinkle recitals, which is really cute. It's like a person's first ever recital and they bring stuffed animals and things that make them feel really comfortable. It's very cute. So that's at First Lutheran Church on April 29th at 10 a.m. If any member of the community is welcome to come to any of our things. And this summer, we're doing a couple of chamber music camps. So we're bringing in a guest string quartet from Wisconsin. And this is a really cool camp. It's partially funded by the Community Foundation of Northern Illinois, again, to keep costs really low. We're calling it an outreach camp. So students will learn from this professional string quartet, but then we'll also go to places like the Luther Center, which is low-income housing, and do performances there. We're going to do some busking and raise money for a charity of the student's choice. So it's like kind of giving back as well as learning,
Nice.
really top-notch skills. So
Cool. Well, I put a link to the website on the chat. So if you see the link there, go ahead and click on that. Check that out. Steve, tell us, we got to plug you a little bit too, Ridgeline, and tell us, everybody, what you do at Ridgeline to help people build their wealth.
Well, I mean, just in regards to planning, one of the things that we want to do is look at, if people have a charitable intent, how do you get money there? So that's part of working with the Music Academy. It's another way to do that. But the big thing that we really start with is just the purpose. We just want to know that, what do you want to accomplish? We're here for you. We're here for your family. And we're here for your generation. So knowing that as things are happening, there's going to be a lot of different things in the market and things like that. But really working the plan is where we really focus in. So it's all reflected in our mission statement of mobilizing wealth for priceless purposes. And our vision is to have generations of flourishing families. So we know that doesn't just happen, but you got to have that plan, which we have, and say, okay, how do we do that through our values of wisdom, simplicity, generosity, and growth? And so there's a lot of complicated things out there. I've been trained on the tax side as well as the law side, but really bringing that down and saying, okay, can we just do this on one page, almost with the crayon mentality, where if we can take a complicated situation and make it simple and approach that for clients, then we're going to have them stick to it. And then their future self's going to be super happy with their current self. So a lot of it's just that proactive planning, especially with things that are happening around, and saying, all right, there's volatility, but is volatility equal risk? That's just part of the conversations we'll get into. And lastly is, we don't necessarily describe it as retirement, but more financial independence. Now you've got the freedom to do what you want to do. So really understanding the goals, and that might be music. If you want to be playing at the band at Mary's place or doing things, you've got that financial independence to create the schedule that you want. And I have to say this from our compliance side, this is for informational purposes only. Nothing's being guaranteed. Investing does have risks. So if there's ever a question, always feel free to reach out. But as you can see, there's a lot of cool ways, a lot of different things that we can do to help organizations just like the Music Academy. But yes, go check out our website. Highlighted our vision statement, mission statement, and values. And there's the link there. You can hit the start planning. That would go directly to my calendar, and set up a quick 15-minute call and dive into those details a little bit more.
I think one of the confusing things about financial planning is a lot of folks fall into the idea that in order to have wealth, your family had to have wealth, and they had to teach you about, no, you can start the generational wealth right with yourself if you make some right decisions. And Steve can help you do that. Steve can help you make some choices that will affect your long-term wealth and the wealth of your generations coming behind you. So check out their website, ridgelineprivatewealth.com. And follow with the Music Academy, their Facebook page, their website, all the events they got coming up. Lots of fun stuff going on with you guys. And I really appreciate you guys spending the time with us today. I hope you have a wonderful success, especially with your upcoming little recital for the first timers.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yes, we appreciate the time to be able to spread the word.
You got it.
And enjoy the Jets and the Sharks.
Thank you.
You got it.
You can come too, though, Tom.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
I saw the movie. It was good.
Thanks, Laura. Thanks, Steve.
Thank
Have a
you
great
so much.
weekend.
Bye-bye.
Greg, see you, Tom.
Have a good one.
All right. Check them out online. We got Joann standing by out there at the PAWS Humane Society. Good morning, Joann.
Good morning.
Good morning, Joann.
How are things in the world of fur?
It's kind of quiet.
World of Fur.
Kind of quiet at PAWS this morning. We'll take it. Okay. No loud barkers.
No,
No loud
them
barkers.
is at my house.
Well, let's see.
I have some really good animal related news. Can I share?
Absolutely. Bring it on.
Okay, my dog Elsie, 13 years old. She's a yellow lab, and she is the sweetest, most beautiful, most docile dog ever. She had a lump about probably, I don't know, McDonald's hamburger sized.
Uh-oh.
It was pretty big. We took her to Freeport Animal Hospital on South Street, Stevenson, I guess. Stevenson, whatever. Good people, nice people there. Brought her in, and they were kind of, a little harried because they had an emergency C-section for a dog, which I've never heard of that. But anyway, I'm sure you have, Joann, probably dozens of times. Anyway, it was not by appointment. They said, bring her in from 2 to 4. We did. And the vet came out and he said he felt it. And he says, it doesn't feel like anything, whatever. Let's monitor it and this and that. And I said, what I was hoping, though, is we could just do a quick biopsy of it. So he goes and gets a syringe and he pulls out this fluid. He did 3 or 4 times. Ooh. Clear as a bell. Ooh. Clear as a bell. It turned out it probably was just nothing more than a fat nodule. And it only cost us $15.
Wow.
And I don't care about the cost. I would have paid $500 if I had to. I needed to know, and my baby girl is all good to go now. And I just thought that was so wonderful. So
nice. Kudos to them.
That was, yeah, it was really nice.
And what was the name of the place?
It's Stevenson Vet Hospital, I guess. I think that's what it was. It's on South Street as you're going right into Freeport.
Is that your usual vet?
No. My neighbor across the street. She took her dog in. We both had the same vet here in town, didn't like our vet. And so my neighbor across the street, Rose is her name, she found this place because somebody had recommended it. She took her dog there. Unfortunately, they had to put the dog down. He was really old and he was just done. Yeah. He couldn't even hardly breathe. So, but she said they were so wonderful and so caring and just so nice. So we decided to take a chance on that. And I'm so glad we did. And now Elsie, my baby girl, she's going to be good, I believe. And we have to he gave us another syringe. And he said, if it starts to get big again, just go ahead and do the exact same.
Wow.
Awesome.
Thing I just did. It was easy. It was good.
Let's get into some randoms. What do you say about our SMS info, unofficially brought to you by Altruize, the app that enables volunteers to track, verify, and maintain their own community service data for a lifetime. We're talking Altruize. Tell a better story, live a better life. And there's stuff going around on this weekend that you might want to check out. Kid Ventures, the engineering process at Burpee Museum of Natural History, is today from 10 to 2. It's a $14 charge for non-members, $12 for members. Classes, each class is a new adventure traveling back in time in Burpee's backyard. Kid Ventures in Science, a one-day class that packs a lot of learning in fun, suitable for ages 3 to 6, from 10 to noon today, and then from noon to 2, it's for the tots, I believe. So check out Burpee Museum of Natural History today. Growing a garden in the spirit of National Gardening Day, which was yesterday, Atwood. The Atwood Center, Rockford Park District Atwood Center in New Milford, is having their Grow a Garden today from 1 till 3. Free admission. Check out atwoodpark.org/programs. I can put that real quick in the chat as well. Click. There we go. 1 to 3 this afternoon at the Atwood Center in New Milford. Rockford Ice Hogs, I think their last home game is tonight. They play the Manitoba Moose tonight at 7.
Wow, that's a long way to travel for AHL.
Manitoba.
Wow.
Well, they play down in Dallas too, and they play the Texas Stars. That's a long trip too.
Yeah.
But tonight's the last home game before the playoffs start. I believe the Ice Hogs are in the playoffs. I think they made it in. We'll hear it. Follow the news.
I think they are. I think they're on the very low end of it. I believe you're right, though.
And then finally, the worst poetry ever. This sounds fun, funny, and inspirational all at the same time. Veterans Memorial Hall tonight from 7 to 9, free admission. Maze Books is hosting the Worst Poetry Ever contest. There are 15 local writers, authors, and poets performing their original worst poem in front of a live audience and 3 judges. Rockford.
There once was a man from Nantucket.
Don't go
Probably
anywhere.
isn't
No,
gonna make
stop,
it, right?
stop. Rockford poet laureate Jenna Goldsmith, WNIJ host Joann Bose, and Rockford singer-songwriter Stu Johnson will be your guest judges. No cost to attend. Abreu will have a cash bar, it sounds like, at the Veterans Memorial Hall and Museum tonight from 7 to 9 down on Main Street in Rockford.
I wasn't going to finish it.
The more you
Mostly
drink.
Yeah, that's right. I wasn't going to finish it mostly because I have no idea what comes next, but I can probably figure it out.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, no trips, like-
YouTube this week revealed the pricing for its NFL Sunday ticket. They bought the rights to that from DirecTV. So if you want Sunday ticket now from YouTube, if you're already a subscriber, you'll get it for between $249 and $289. Different packages available. If you're not a YouTube TV subscriber, it'll cost you between $349 and $389 through June 6th, and then prices go up by $100. Are you paying $489 to have NFL Sunday ticket? If you're not yeah, that's not cheap. But there you go. That's where we're headed. Walmart announced it's closing half its stores in Chicago. Only 4 will remain after what?
I did not.
A couple months.
I did not know they had stores in Chicago proper. Like the city of Chicago, or like Downers Grove and Evanston, stuff like that.
No, the 4 Chicago stores that they're closing, they say that has never made any money in their 17 years they've been open.
Wow.
They've not made money. They've been losing money. You don't keep stores open that lose money. And it's amazing.
That's right.
That long.
That's right.
Illumination and Universal's Super Mario Brothers movie broke a bunch of records last weekend. $377 million worldwide. The biggest debut ever for a video game adaptation of a movie. Top opening so far of 2023. Mamma mia, that's a lot of gold coins. I hear it's pretty actually good. My son went and saw Super Mario Brothers movie and really, really enjoyed it. Does the name Dick Wolf mean anything to you? Do you know who Dick Wolf is?
ABC producer.
You're close. NBC. Dick Wolf, he's the guy behind Law and Order.
Okay.
And all
NBC.
those Chicago shows on NBC. Chicago Fire,
Right,
Chicago
right.
Police, whatever. NBC just renewed all 6 of his shows for next season.
Wow.
That means next year he'll have his name on more than 84 seasons of television for the network, including 25 seasons of SVU. This is according to AV Club. By the way, Dick Wolf, he's 76 years old, so he's produced more seasons of TV than he's actually been alive.
Wow.
Wow.
I have never seen an episode of SVU or any of those. It's just a timing thing for me. It's not that I don't like it or wouldn't like it. I just have never, I don't know. I don't watch
I've
a
never
whole
really
lot.
gotten into the shows. I've watched like Chicago Fire every once in a while, but I just never really got into those kind of.
Well, see, I'm
those
never
kind of
home
shows.
at night. I'm gone 4 nights a week because
You're
I do
trivia dude.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then if I don't have trivia, I did this past week, so I had 4 nights. But if I don't have it, then I sometimes will play. So
Yeah.
and then Friday's the only night, and then I don't know
Who needs TV?
who needs TV.
Disney's Lucasfilm says there are 3 new Star Wars feature films on the way. No timeline set for them yet, but not a surprise there. Americans who are aged 50 plus, they're spending more on tech than ever before. An average of $912 last year. That compares to $394 spent on tech in 2019. We like our tech, even though we hate our tech, right?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of tech, one of the Google freebies that we probably use, I know I use it a lot, Google Maps. They're rolling out updates that will help us at U.S. national parks, including detailed trail maps and easier offline usage, which you need to be offline when you're out in the middle of the national forest and you don't have any signal. Maps is getting some pretty cool updates. As far as other apps, the best weather apps only achieve an accuracy of about 80%, sometimes a little bit higher than that, but not by much, according to Forecast Advisor. I know for years I was big on Weather Underground. These days now, I just use whatever Samsung put on my phone, whatever app that is. I don't even know what it is, AccuWeather or something. I just rely on that. And one of the big numbers this week that didn't make it to our big number of the week contest this week, a vanity car license plate recently sold in Dubai for $15 million.
My goodness.
The vanity license plate was P7. One letter, one number, the most expensive license plate ever sold in the world. It's a big deal in Dubai to have license plates that are just like one letter, one number.
Is it like Prince 7, like the 7th Prince or something?
I don't know if it has a special meaning or not. It probably does, but they've been selling these vanity plates for millions of dollars now for a number of years. This one now, someone wanted it so bad they were willing to plunk down $15 million.
Now, this is a plate that you can actually use on your car, or was it like an old plate that somebody once had?
No, it's for their car.
Wow, what a racket. I mean, you have to pay a little bit for vanity plates here. I think you're paying a couple hundred or something for a vanity plate. Like I love teddy bears or something. That's going to cost me, but in the millions, no wonder that country's so rich.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I'll pass on that.
Yeah.
Anywho, before we get to our big number of the week this week, Joann, any special announcements from PAWS Humane Society this week?
No, not really. We're kind of low on cats, which is a good thing. Lots of adoptions.
Yay.
But we have kittens coming in, so a lot of kitten moms coming in, or moms with kittens. And today is yoga with pups, but
they sold that out pretty quickly.
Yeah. But I'm going to head there. And I just wanted to mention, I've got my Boston Strong shirt on.
Okay.
Today is the 10th anniversary of the Boston bombing.
Oh,
wow.
2013. And my son was actually running the marathon on that day on his birthday.
Well, happy birthday. Oh, it's not your son's birthday today, though, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is. Today also. Okay.
He ran
all right.
the Boston Marathon on his birthday.
Cool.
Wow.
Well,
was he running it today by chance?
No, that dream got pretty fizzled after the bombing.
I imagine so.
But what?
I imagine so. Did that, I mean, obviously it was a rough thing. It probably traumatized him for a while. Is he still kind of like, does he have nightmares or anything like that?
No, not. He was out of the area before it happened.
Okay.
Luckily.
Yeah.
The story of catching the Boston Marathon bomber, the story of how they caught the guy is pretty remarkable. If you get a chance, you might want to do a little search on what they did to catch him. It's something else. It really is something else. All right. Well, hey, let's do this. We got a big number of the week. Let's play. What do you say? Our current race to 10 has Tom leading by a score of 2-1. And our big number of the week this week is 15 million. Is the answer Mumbai, which is a city in India, by the way, or Michael, which could be any number of really cool people. Mumbai or Michael. We're ready for your answers. 15 million, 3, 2, 1, go. What do you got?
Michael.
Joanne's going with Mumbai. Tom's going with Michael. Okay, so that means someone's going to get a point. The world's largest passenger elevator. Have you heard about this? This is crazy. It's over 277 square foot elevator. It was unveiled last year at the Geo World Center in Mumbai by a Finnish vertical transport company called Kone Corporation, Kone. There is a video. I wonder if I can play it. I wonder if it'll let me play it. I'm going to try to play the video. Share screen. They're pretty excited about this. Can you tell? So this elevator, I can turn down the volume just a little bit on this thing. My goodness, that's loud. It moves at a speed of 1.3 foot per second. It can carry 235 people in one trip. Supported by 18 pulleys and 9 ropes. Moves between 5 floors, weighs 16 tons, and is supported by 18 pulleys and 9 ropes. According to Elevator World, they say that the Cone Company, K-O-N-E, Cone Company, they have an amazing testing facility in the country of Finland, where they are from, and they test their elevators in the world's deepest elevator shaft. It's over 1,100 feet deep in Taiteri, Finland, and it's underground because Cone HQ is in a skyscraper-free country. No building in Finland exceeds 432 feet tall. So they conduct their research underground in a limestone mine, extensive acceleration, speed, braking, and deceleration testing, including a 650-foot free fall test that's 5 times longer than the drop at Disney World's Tower of Terror. That's right.
I hate to be stuck in an elevator with 200 people.
I know.
Actually, yeah. Especially if everybody had the bean platter for lunch.
So if you want to experience it, it's at the Cone. It's at the Geo World Center in Mumbai, India. So yeah, that was pretty
even
awesome.
if I didn't get a point today.
So congratulations to Tom. You get the point today. Yes, it's now a score of 3-1. An 18-year-old was arrested about a week or two ago. He was breaking into Michael Jordan's mansion.
Oh, jeez.
In fairness, the Airness place, it's quite an expensive place to enter legally. It's on the market for $15 million. And yeah, it's been on the market for a long time. They've been trying to sell this place, and I think at one time it was listed for like 26 million or something. Now we're down to 15.
Oh, you would think that somebody with a lot of money would just say, I'll take it. I don't care how much it is.
You would think.
Michael Jordan's old home. Yeah, absolutely. It's the room that Michael slept in.
You would think.
$50, $100 million. It's not going to like decrease in value. You're only going to increase in value.
Well, it just goes to show you how friendly Illinois is to its millionaires, I guess. None of them want to live here.
Yeah, that's true.
Michael Jordan's signed Air Jordan size 13s from the 1998 NBA Finals game recently became the most expensive pair of sneakers ever sold. They got $2.2 million at auction for his pair of sneakers.
From what I understand, he gave them to a reporter or somebody having to do with the team or something. Somebody he was friends with. Now, what I don't understand is how this guy's going to go ahead and sell them and make $2 million off of it. If I'm Michael, I'm like, I didn't give them to you to make $2 million off of it.
He held them for a long time. I mean, it's 2023. He got these back in 98 or 99.
Yeah.
He held them a long time, and
out his closet.
Somebody said, I bet you could get $1 million for those. He said, all right, let's auction them. He got $2.2 million. So kudos to that.
Wow.
Anyway, congratulations, Tom. You're up 3-1. And that's it.
Joann, I'm just softening you up for your big comeback in about 4 weeks.
Thanks again to Steve from Ridgeline Private Wealth for joining us today. And Laura from the Music Academy in Rockford. Check out their websites.
Expect some great things from Tom when he starts taking his lessons.
That's right. That's
right.
He's going to compose a brand new theme for our show.
Yeah.
And then YouTube is going to flag it and tell us that we have to pay somebody for it.
Yeah.
All right, kids, remember you change the world. Yes. You change the world when you help somebody. You help one person. Be a blessing to someone this week. We'll do the same. Meet you back here for another Saturday morning Stateline show. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.